So, what's the truth about remote work, especially as it applies to real estate people? Like, that's the big question there. So, my name's Alan Rich. I'm the managing broker here at Maximum One Realtor Partners.
My name is Ming Richardson, a compliance broker for Maximum One Realty and Realtor Partners.
And we want to jump into this great debate that's kind of been flying around the internet here recently, and it deals with remote work.
Would you rather work at an office for $240,000 a year or remotely at home for $120,000 a year?
And so it sparked like this, like this big question has been going. It's been on LinkedIn, it's been on a lot of the social media platforms, and the whole thing was, would you rather work at home for half as much money? And what we found really interesting. Well, first of all, like some parts of it were not that uncommon, right? 2/3 of folks, 63%, would rather make more money by going into the job, which is we totally understand. But we are kind of surprised that 37% of people said no, nope. I would take half as much money if I could be fully remote. And that really did start a whole lot more questions. Well, yeah, questions where we're kind of going back and forth about like the joy that you get from work. Why, a great sense of having a work-life balance and those kind of stuff. But we just kind of want to say that there is no right answer here, right? It depends on what's right for you,
Correct.
What's right for your goals and your aspirations, and what you really like to see happening out there.
And some of us, we have different obligation and what have you. And for them, it may be family dynamics that where they need to work at home, and also some people do get really stressed out driving from point A to point B and have a lot of road rage.
Well,
So for them, peace of mind, and also the cost of non-commuting for them is worth a little bit of sacrifice.
Well, we see a lot of wonderful things that come from the work at home model. And I think part of that is really about how you're wired, for sure.
Correct.
But when you work from home, having that work-life balance, being able to see your kids more and hang out, being able to be much more intentional about the time that you spend, not necessarily working in that predefined hours and those kind of things can be really good. On the other hand, remote work can be lonely. And especially for us real estate folks, right? If you're not hanging out with and dealing with other real estate professionals, seeing what's really going on in the workplace, getting
Having
motivation,
yeah. I mean, no collaboration. Well, the collaboration is very one-sided. What I mean by that is there's not a creativity. There's not a it can be lack of different things versus when you're in with a group where you guys can openly discuss issues and also understanding the issues and having different mindset and opinions about certain things and how you want to operate. So when you work remotely, it's very much it's just a one-sided comments, and you get one-sided response. So it's not a whole lot what I consider creativity.
Yeah. I mean, we actually had one of our agents that came to us and said, like I'm thinking about getting out of real estate. I'm having a hard time. I'm not really plugged in. I'm not like engaged. I feel really like disjointed. Yeah. And so we're like, how about you start coming in the office? And so like she went and got an office space. She started coming in every day. Her transactions went up a lot, that kind of stuff. But is it less convenient? Sure. I think that's absolutely true that like there is that side of things about what's going to be the right balance for you. Like some folks like their commute would be really ridiculous. It wouldn't make sense for them, for their families, and those kind of things. So again, we're not trying to keep repeating ourselves. We know it's not right for everybody.
But for some people, that is the key.
Right.
I mean, me as an administrator, I can tell you, I'd rather be left alone and get the workload done, because when I have multiple distractions, I'm having to stop every 5 minutes, and that 5 minutes period can take me another 20 minutes just to catch up to where I was.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, to me, the other side of this entire question here is how does this equate to the real estate world? And for you as a real estate professional, what does remote work look like for you? And the reason I'm saying that is because we see where there's a lot of folks that get into real estate and they don't and they come from a job or a corporate job kind of thing. And then they come to real estate where there is just total freedom to do what you want when you want to do it, that
It's
kind of
kind of
stuff.
like kids going from graduating from high school and going to college and all that freedom.
Yeah,
Yeah, and sometimes you can take that freedom to the extreme, meaning that you basically take care of all your personal to dos and not really concentrate on what you need to do.
yeah. But when you don't have any rules, like it doesn't matter what you do, right? And so I can stay up all night, I can do this, maybe I'll do that. But then we don't put in place systems to help us be really successful. I know a lot of real estate folks, and it's like when I start asking them questions about their workspace, I don't care if you are work from home or if you come into the office. For me, I need some sort of structure. I'm a go to the office kind of guy. I get up, I get dressed. It's how I get moving. It like for me that helps my productivity a lot. If you take Ming's the other side. Just leave her alone and let her run, right? Like you really enjoy the being able. You can get a lot of stuff done. You don't have the same. So like it's one of those
Well, the
where
task is different. So, as a real estate agent, you got to satisfy both sides, which is the introvert and extrovert portion of it. The introvert is getting all your costs done. Well, that's a quasi cross there. Um, but you still
okay,
need the introvert that can schedule and that can be disciplined enough to where your extrovert comes out and basically make the phone calls and follow up with appointments and also go out and do the showings.
hmm
So, unless you're able to discipline enough to where you can say, when I get up Monday morning, these are my tasks. These are things I need to
yeah.
do. I need to finish it up and do it in a certain time manner. Leave a little flexibility because we always have things that runs up between clients, family, and what have you. But if you can do that, I think it would be very successful. But the problem is that most of us we squirrels and then we
Well,
don't come and it take us a long time to come back where we were.
I think you need to ask yourself some questions. And the very first one that if you were talking to me in person, I'd say, where do you go to work? Right.
Hmm.
So for a lot of us, like we try and work from the kitchen table, we try and work from the coffee table, things like that. That's not a place to go to work. That's a place where you go and have dinner. That's where you hang out with the family. It's where you have conversations. You need a designated space, whether it's at an office or whether it's your home office. And it shouldn't be that space shouldn't look like, oh, that's the computer that I'll never turn on, and it's got, and that's where I pile up the laundry until I fold them, and those kind of things. This has to be a place where when you go to work, you go there and you do work. When your family sees you there, they know, well, leave mom alone, leave dad alone. They're getting their work done. If they see that you're there, they know that that's the place where you are at work. That is a really powerful and strong thing to put in place for your business when you can treat it that way. A lot of folks just try and work from the coffee table. When I first started, I tried doing that, and I'd have Sports Center on the TV, and I'd be sitting there, and the next thing you know, it's 2 hours later. I've watched the same program twice. There's a little bit of drool coming out the corner of my mouth. I wasn't getting anything done, right? And so, you have to say, like, where do I go to work? Do you need to go to an office? Like the positives of that is, it tends to be a lot more motivating, has a lot more structure. When you go into an office and you get there and you're like, well, there's nothing to do here. That's right. So you better make some phone calls, right? You tend to get better support. Just getting up, getting dressed, and getting out really helps you. If you're gonna, like the cons of going into an office, it definitely is less convenient. So you got to take in the like commute times, that kind of stuff, and sometimes everything we need is at our home office, that kind of stuff. So I get it, but you have to ask yourself of that. But regardless of where your office is, you have to look at how am I running my business, and so what does going to work look like? What are my hours of operation? Again, we were talking about this with the real estate folks. If you just like if you get up and get going whenever, that's not a business. That's a hobby. All right. I mean, like if you really want to have a true business, a business has hours of operation where you get your work done. So what are your hours of operation? And then do you have a process? You know, for Ming and I, we really enjoyed working. Maybe enjoyed's the wrong word, but we really utilized the win by noon system where we get up and we'd hit the office, and for the first hour was prospecting, and then the second hour was always some sort of administration. That's when we checked the emails, that kind of stuff, and then the third hour was marketing. That's a really powerful way. That gives you the rest of the day when you can schedule showings and appointments and do these other kind of stuff. And speaking of a schedule, like what's your schedule look like? I mean, I know we talk about hours of operation, but do you really, I mean, like,
Do you actually keep an hour operation, or do you just kind of like, I'll get to it when I get to it?
I mean, and I get it. A lot of us got into real estate because we didn't want to have no stinking schedule. But now you get here and you realize that, gosh, if I'm going to be a business owner and you are a business owner, then I need to have a schedule.
So, do you pay somebody that doesn't work? That's the question. So, when you don't work and you don't have the schedule, you have no revenue. So, look at it as you're the best employee in your business.
Yeah. So, like, do you have a planner? You know, you can feel free to steal ours. You can go to Max One Rocks / planner and pull out our monthly planner in there, kind of stuff. It doesn't bother us at all in here. But you have to have some structure and some process and understand what going to work looks like, right? So, like, how many phone calls are you going to make a day? How many properties are you going to share out to social media? How many videos are you going to make this week?
How many social posting are you doing?
Yeah.
How much you doing Facebook? How much you doing Instagram,
Carousels, yeah.
and Reels and GBP, sorry,
Yeah.
and LinkedIn. So because LinkedIn is a great place to attract business.
But see, really what we're coming down to is, are you treating your business like a business? We hear over our years, there's been multiple times when people said, you know what, I'm just not sure this is right for me. I think I'm going to go get a job, right? And they say, I want to go get a job. And then you look back and let's just say that you as a real estate professional are thinking about going and getting a 9 to 5 job, and you're going to get up every day and you're going to go into that office and you're going to do that work, and then they're going to pay you a certain amount of money. Now, if you took that same
mindset,
9 to 5 and you put that into place for your real estate business, what would happen to your real estate business? This is the thing that we see happen time and again, is that when you treat your business
like a business,
you get results like a business. If you treat your business like a hobby,
you get a hobby income.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. And if you're willing to go and get a job and work 9 to 5 for somebody else,
why not work for you? Be
exactly
the best employee of your own company.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I get it. The hardest person you're ever going to have to manage is yourself.
Correct.
Right? The hardest one I've ever had to manage is me. Honestly, I'm probably the hardest one Ming's ever had to manage too. But like that's just that, and I get that that's human nature. But are you able to overcome that? Because what we see are the folks who are truly have the greatest amount of financial success in our business. They're the ones that treat their business like a business.
Right.
And they understand that if I put the same amount of effort that I would for working for somebody else into working for me, I'm the one who's going to be able to reap the rewards out of that.
Absolutely.
So I hope you have a great week. If we can be any kind of service, please let us know.
Thank you for watching and have a great day.
Bye, guys.
See ya.